phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
The gay community.
The phenomenal AJ Styles is here today to teach the future greats about having a moniker, developing that larger-than-life character like a Shawn Michaels or a Triple H. Another thing announced by HBK is that the LFG playoffs will begin next episode and people are going to start getting eliminated.
The LFG playoffs begin. Eliminations start.
This is exactly what I wanted to see this series do, and they're doing it, and I'm very excited. AJ says, show me who you are, show me what they're gonna call you, because you'll be judged based on it. Chris Island says he's going to embody his moniker of being the promised child, while Panina already has a moniker with being called P Nasty. Meanwhile, Leela Rel says this.
I have the detonator, so I'm a silent killer, undetectable, unpredictable.
Then we hear from Serena Linton about her devilish character.
Mine is La Diablita. It means little devil in Spanish.
Oh.
I feel like that fits my personality.
We've already heard one girl who wants to be Ezio Auditore da Firenze and another one that wants to be the devil. What the hell going on at the PC? Next we have the real deal Tyra May Steele, who says she's out there to prove that she is indeed an Olympic gold medalist for a reason. We then hear Tatiana Dumas' character, which is the president, who sets the standard. She's also the only person at this point in the episode to get bloody subtitles.
The gold standard, the standard, whatever, stuff like that. You like gold standard? Yeah. See, I moved you just like that.
The gold standard. Yeah, she moved you, Bubba, because it's already been done before. Now all the monikers have been decided, it's time to present them to Uncle Al. I say Unc because he's putting on his reading glasses before he judges them.
My name is Danny Ray, and I am the shooting star. When I think of a shooting star, I think of unlimited potential. And that's because when you wish upon a shooting star, anything is possible.
Bubba Ray, Danny Ray, BJ Ray, somebody call it Billy and Miley real quick. But I like the shooting star as a name. I like Danny Shakelski. I can see this working for her. Although if Danny can't hit a shooting star press like Evan Bourne in Road to...
I got you again.
Oh, Zena's hungry. She's ready.
Yes, she is.
If you're not constantly going up and trying to be first, do you really want that winning spot at the end of the show?
Talk your Xena, let's go. Xena stocks because I'm investing big time.
You are looking at Tatiana Dumas, the gold standard.
Out of all people, I'm surprised BJ Ray wasn't like, hey, somebody already did that shit, dumbass.
Yeah. There's nothing golden about you. If anybody's the gold standard, hello.
Big fan of that I Show Speed face right there. That was great. Then Tatiana says this.
And if people got hurt by that, I mean, that's just your insecurities.
And then we hear from Tyra May Steele, who basically just says exactly what she's been saying for 10 weeks.
I dominated internationally. I even won an Olympic gold medal.
Real deal Holyfield.
The real deal Tyra May Steele.
It's getting to an embarrassing cringe point with her, and I hate to admit it. She has so much potential, and I really hope she turns it around, but I feel like every time nowadays that she steps up, she falls flat on her face. After her promo, Styles says when he is done in the ring, somebody can take the phenomenal tag as long as they've earned it. You can also see Booker T here whispering something to Mickie James while Tyra is getting feedback, and boy is he not a fan.
I mean, I just think that's very, very disrespectful after what Evander Holyfield did.
Booker says he was a huge Evander Holyfield guy, and he still considers him to be the one and only real deal.
Taker, I think that's bad coaching, man. That's bad advice.
This is the wrestling business. I mean, seriously.
And ain't no way I would step on something like that.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Buck. I'm not a big Tyra May Steele guy right now, but you're being ridiculous. And the tensions continue to rise because Tatiana is piping up again.
Hey, if you felt the need to steal someone else's name, at least I came up with mine.
I came up with this on the spot. Oh my gosh. I said gold standard.
No.
Honestly, I'm starting to dislike you both. Can we do a double elimination like right now? Then it turns into chaos with everybody just talking until Booker T says, shut up, man.
No, shut up, man. Are we trying to talk over here about something? Look here.
AJ Styles, I am so sorry that you have to be here on a week like this. But next, Bubba starts signaling for Elijah Holyfield to step up since they're all yapping about his dad anyway. This was his moment.
My name is Elijah Holyfield, but you will address me as the Holyfield Warrior. I love the fight and win championships while I do it, because that's the Holyfield Warrior way.
To which I say, fantastic promo, Elijah. I hope we see more from you going forward. AJ Styles weighs in then too.
Okay, sometimes it's up here. Yes, sir. So Be ready to do it in the ring and be able to handle it up here.
The Undertaker is also impressed with Elijah as well.
To have those kind of instincts, to like, okay, I'm gonna seize the moment, I was impressed.
Elijah showed more personality than he ever has. And then Booker tried to take credit for it.
Booker taking credit for something he did weird, huh? That's good.
I think we should make this the new LeBron lying meme.
Everybody saw I brought it out of her. That was some of my best work. Excellent.
Yeah, my name's Booker T, and I'm actually the one that told Roman Reigns to turn heel and become the tribal chief, man. But anyway, Xena Sterling is finally up next, and she realized she still had gum in her mouth, so Bubba just says, hey, give me it here.
Here, give me your gum. Oh! Xena is my shining star. And when she gets that WrestleMania payday, I'm gonna remind her, I'm the one who held your gum.
You know, a guy like me would have straight up been like,
I'm gonna fight all these urges, my brother.
Oxymoron. And what was the first thing you guys thought when you saw me? Moron. And who's the one to beat now? My name's Xena. I'm the Oxy, and well, you are the moron.
AJ Styles immediately questions her moniker, saying the moron part stands out more than the Oxy part. Then Xena weighs in and says this.
A moniker that I chose for myself really resembles Xena throughout the entire show, so I feel like AJ had to have been there to understand it.
And then BJ Ray basically calls Bubba Ray a chronic masturbator. You think I'm kidding?
I wouldn't take anything from Bubba's hand. Hey, yo. I don't know where Bubba's hands have been, bro, but his right hand looks pretty strong. I hope it wasn't his right hand.
Then the next thing he does, I can't even describe with words.
Cheers. Of course I want to take a sip of water after Mickey James drank. The closest thing I can get to a smooch, you know what I'm saying?
It's lewd, it's lascivious, it's salacious, it's outrageous. It's a yellow card.
From the mean streets of Orange County, California. Could you imagine? There's some years my dad barely made 500 grand. West Coast gangster out, baby.
BJ Ray is like the Mean Street Posse if they weren't jobbers. Somebody go ahead and get Pete Gas on the phone. But AJ Styles is fairly impressed with BJ.
He said that line about his dad only made $500,000. I was like, wow, this is perfect. You're a rich kid trying to act like you're from the ghetto. Like, okay, dude, nobody likes you.
Drake Moreau then cuts a pretty impressive promo too.
But don't let them good times get you confused. You in the swamp with the Bayou Boy, Drake Moreau.
Drake also says he's been working on diving deeper into his character as he sits there wearing a swamp ass hat with a can't stop shirt. You can't stop his swamp ass? Ew. Shiloh cuts a promo with his usual intensity.
I feel at home when I raise hell, and I feel alive when I raise hell.
Jasper Troy then refers to himself as the Reaper as he cuts a promo.
Bend the knee to the Reaper, Jasper Troy, and step into power that lies beyond the chaos.
Reaper. All right. Are you like the Undertaker? We're gonna find out.
Then Chris Island cuts his promo around being the promised child and says he's still a kid and always will be. Then he tries his absolute hardest to get in the mind of Jasper Troy and Booker T again.
And then when I said that line, I said it to Booker, the one who gave him the title monster, because I'm not.
And then he continues at Jasper Troy, who cooks his entire promo with one sentence.
I was looking for a grown man. I was looking for a grown man, not a little boy.
What you just told the world is that you're always gonna be little brother.
In today's episode, there will be tag matches to see how well the future greats live up to their monikers. Kicking off with the oxymoron Xena Sterling and Tatiana Dumas, the gold standard of Team Bubba. They will be taking on the shooting star Danny Shakelski and La Diablita Serena Linton of Team Mickey. Bubba mid-match says both these girls need to have a great showing today as Serena tags out to his sustain.
Don't tag out Serena.
Despite that little hiccup though, I really think Serena Linton showed out in this match.
Nice. All right. That was beautiful.
Oh, okay.
It's impressive though. Beautiful.
She's slowly coming along as a star. There's something there as the judges continue to compliment her.
Other than, of all people, Serena.
He looks more like the superstar in here.
But despite her impressive showing, Xena takes it home for the W.
Xena the oxymoron Sterling in control. Tilt-a-whirl slam for the win.
By the way, you can get 15% off Fire Wrestling merch on Blacksmith Apparel with the discount code DDJ15. They have a ton of unique wrestling merch from the likes of Will Ospreay and Kurt Angle. From jackets to jerseys, t-shirts, and more, use DDJ15 for 15% off today. We also hear positive feedback for Xena Sterling once again.
It fit her perfect. The oxymoron. It's like Itzy, then she comes out and she's owning the place.
But also, Serena Linton gets great feedback too.
Little Devil, man, I really enjoyed what you did today. I didn't see see anything too devilish, mind you. Stood out right from the get-go when you did the split on the top rope, because I don't know anybody that does that.
As for Danny Shakelski, AJ expected a bit more for her Moniker.
Maybe some lucha stuff in there because you are small. But I'm trying to take you where you're at right now.
You see, I'm saying, man, if she would have gone ahead and whipped out that shooting star press, or imagine if because AJ Styles was there, she hit one random spiral tap, I would have been like, whoa. Then Xena gets more positives, followed by something interesting from Booker T.
Xena, you are excelling in this thing. You really are. You know how to get yourself over. You got to know how to get the other guy over that you're working with. I think that's one thing, perhaps, you know, to the stratosphere, take you totally to the next level.
The fact she is already at the point where she is excelling so much that they now want her to put others over, she's her. Another woman, though, that is not quite her yet is Tatiana Dumas.
Tatiana, we still need to definitely see more from you, but overall, I thought it was a good effort, ladies.
But it's okay, I'm sure she'll get...
Tatiana doesn't do stand out. Absolutely nothing.
Never mind. Tatiana also ponders her future and her continued mistakes.
Like, it's getting unacceptable to me, especially this stage in the game.
Next up, it was time for BJ Ray, the West Coast Gangster, and the Bayou Boy Drake Moreau of Team Bubba, and they're taking on Showtime Anthony Luke and the Reaper Jasper Troy of Team Booker. Who, by the way, Jasper Troy looked like a beast. Anthony Luke then talks about how we're almost at the end, so it's time to step up.
We're getting to the end of this thing. It's time for me to show out, or it's time for me to go home. And they just want to see more out of me, so I gotta show more. I gotta do more, because I am Showtime.
And then BJ Ray talks a little smack mid-match, which I liked.
Oh, shoot.
And BJ Ray continues to show off what made him a standout back at Duke as he dominates Anthony Luke for a second.
Showing you some of that amateur background that made him a standout at the University of Duke.
This match is pretty good, though, even garnering its very own judges pop. As Anthony Luke and Jasper Troy work pretty well together again.
Team Booker T. Tag was made. Nice kick. Look at that power combination.
Then Bubba, once again as unhinged as ever, name drops Anthony Luke's girlfriend.
Don't let Maxine's boyfriend beat you up, BJ.
Oh, wow.
You notice how he didn't go ahead and say Dupree? He really wanted to say it, I know you did. But as this match continues to sizzle, Bubba isn't too impressed with a bear hug that could have gone on for longer.
Gangster.
Oh, they could have got so much mileage out of that.
Eventually, the match comes to an end as Roxanne's boyfriend picks up the win. Bubba says it was a solid match, but also weighs in with this.
I'm not sure I totally saw enough of the West Coast Gangsta.
West Coast, bro, you act small out there, you're gonna look small out there.
And then BJ Ray may have finally learned his lesson on when to keep his mouth shut.
I was working a baby, and so I just didn't want to come across as a heel, which is difficult for me.
Drake also gets complimented from Mickie James, saying she wants to cheer and dance for him, as Anthony Luke basically gets told to cut that dancing out when he mirrored Drake mid-match. I get it, he's talented, he's the one that you guys are looking at as maybe the next big thing, or at least he's one of those guys, but every great character has an ability to tap into that comedy. It's what makes wrestlers so three-dimensional. And if you've ever been successful in WWE, chances are you could play both sides, so I don't really understand that criticism. And plus, not to mention, you're going ahead and saying, oh, he needs to be a bit more serious, stop clowning around, cut this out. The man comes out during his entrance and does this. But anyway, let's see how Booker T is doing.
Monster Man. I'm talking monster. I'm talking about the Reaper dog.
AJ Styles says he loved it from Jasper and says it seemed like he was taking his opponent not to a hospital, but a graveyard. BJ Ray then says, well, no sh**, I'm selling my arse off for him over here.
You look like you're trying to send someone not to the hospital, but to the graveyard. I like that, dude.
Yeah, well, no Sherlock. I'm selling my ass off for him.
Jasper Troy says he very much modeled himself in this one after the Dead Man, and it meant a lot to him that Taker liked it.
For him to say that he believes in Jasper Troy, he believes in my work in the ring, you know, that just meant the world to me.
Next, it was time for the Detonator, Leela Rel, and Panina P. Nasty to Aleppa from Team Booker.
We gotta get grimy, we gotta get nasty to get what we want in this world, and ain't always sweet. So, like, I'm gonna take that same energy into the ring.
To take on Team Taker's Bailey, the Bone Collector Humphrey, and the real deal Tyra May Steele.
All the effort that I've put into my life, it is the real deal. I've become a freaking Olympic gold medalist. I am the real deal.
I'm not even anti-Tyra, I like her still, but like I feel as if she's trying so hard to convince herself that she's still good that it messes with her head. It's so obvious. And that thought really only continues because she's being out-wrestled by Lil
Look at the torque of the body. She is out-wrestling the wrestler.
And speaking of being out-wrestled, we see one hell of a lockup from Bailey Humphrey and P Nasty too.
Look at her legs, holy cow.
Nice lockup, nice lockup, nice lockup.
You know what, really need to go ahead and make that Fave 5 for WWE LFG because Bailey Humphrey is absolutely in there. You know what, here's my Fave 5 for LFG.
The Fave 5. You know the Fave 5 been gone for a minute, but we're back.
She got quads like me. Look at those things.
Hers are better.
God.
Hers are better.
I'm not going to comment on that
We
one.
also saw this from Tyra.
Holy mismatch. Oh, my goodness. Red suplex. I wasn't exactly controlling Lee Laurel with that, but...
She's so washed. But eventually, Panina hits a Samoan drop for the win.
Cover. Look at the detonator. Holding on to Humphrey. What a win.
Now it was time for AJ's comments for Lee Laurel and P Nasty.
Moniker, it looked like you had it right from the get-go, which I like. Somebody lit it before you walked out. That's good. P Nasty, I was expecting something like a hair pull or something like that. Girl's nasty, dude. So be P Nasty.
Then the Undertaker takes a little shot at Booker T because he doesn't feel like Panina is getting exposed to her full potential.
I sense so much rage in you. You know, if you had a coach that could get it out of you, it's there. And I think you've only scratched the surface of what your potential is. It was a shot. It was a shot.
Low-key, can you imagine if they had trades in this show? Hey, Bubba, I'm sending Tyra May Steele to the Guangdong Suplexes in exchange for a first-round pick, brother. It's over. Panina says she'll continue to develop P Nasty, but there's only so much you can fit into a match. And then Mickey says...
Lee, whatever has clicked over this last week, you brought a different game today, and you brought your A game, and it showed.
Maybe it's not over. Maybe the boyhood dream can still come true. Lee continues saying she's glad she's getting the wrestling ability down now rather than just the looks, so she feels good.
As far as the real deal, you did a great job. You know what I mean? As far as the wrestling goes, could have been a little bit more structured. You know, but that's coaching.
But then Booker gives Bailey Humphrey some great feedback and also says to tighten up those headlocks because you're a monster, so show it.
I never cared about this guy. Only thing I cared about was my side chest pull. Trust me, poster, poster, poster. That's the only thing you need to think about. God, I wish you was under my expert tutelage. But that's another story.
Yeah, breaking news, folks. Booker T has been suspended for tampering amidst trade talks. But next, it's time for the Holyfield warrior Elijah Holyfield and the Hellraiser Shiloh Hill from Team Taker. They're taking on the Promised Child Chris Island and the superhuman superstar Troy Yearwood from Team Mickey. Mickey talks about how everything Troy does in the ring looks easy. She's just trying to figure out how to bring his personality forward. Elijah Holyfield really has a standout episode. He's pretty much the only one in this match that shows any semblance of his moniker.
Used to throwing around weight as a nice one punch.
Don't touch my arm again. He said, don't touch my arm again.
The match eventually comes to an end after a standing moonsault from the superhuman superstar.
It's on display. It's spectacular. As we're just witnessing right now. Moonsault.
The Undertaker raises concerns about the lack of Moniker shown in that match, especially from Troy Yearwood.
There was nothing Hellraiser about anything that he did. He ended up selling pretty much the whole match. He can win this whole thing, but he's got to be more consistent.
Chris Island also gets similar feedback from Bubba, as they all do from Styles.
Not once do I look over and go, oh my God, that's the Promised Child.
AJ awards his first point to Jasper Troy after deciding between him and Drake Moreau, who isn't happy.
Reaper, I think you showed me a lot of intensity. I liked the way you were in there. You weren't sending him to the hospital, you're sending him to the graveyard. You're my guy.
I'm happy for him. I'm glad he got the point, but at the same time, I want the...
And his point for the women goes to...
I didn't understand it, what you were trying to tell me as you gave me the moniker, but when you got out there, I got it immediately.
I thought you didn't like it, but I was so happy because that meant that I got the 5th point for Team Bubba.
Xena Bloody Sterling. Then Serena weighs in after narrowly missing out on the vote.
It did suck that the point went to Xena. The fact that I've been here now for 4 months, it just shows how quick I'm picking this up.
Here's an updated look at the LFG scoreboard at the end of this episode. Team Booker is creeping ever so closer to being in first again, while Team Bubba is no longer at the bottom of the table, no longer in the relegation scrap. That moniker, funnily enough, now goes to Mickey James. Can you imagine if in like a couple of episodes Shawn Michaels comes in and he's like, like, we're gonna be doing something new here on LFG. Here's what we're gonna do. The judge who has the least wins by week will be replaced by Michelle McCool.
Oh
Right at the end, Mickey's like, man, I don't want to start cutting people next week. And Bubba's like, man, I've been waiting for this.
Next week we start cutting people. Get over or get out. Go ahead, Mickey. Cut 2 of them. And while you're at it, more butter.
Whoa, it's a 95th minute red card.
I don't know who's going home first, but it will not be Tyra May Still. So if you want to complain, bye.
In the teaser for next week's eliminations, we see it come down to Tyra or Bailey for Team Taker, seemingly.
Tyra,